Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So the question is how to reawaken your passions. Now I'm saying reawaken exactly because that is what it is. There is no way that you never had any passion for anything in your life. When you were a small child, you didn't have all these hang-ups, you didn't have all this conditioning. There was not this much psychology interfering with everything. There wasn't this much life, as people often call it. We all had some passion, and one of the great challenges that we are faced with in the current society is to, well, have some hobbies. Now, the problem with hobbies is that by definition they are something extra, right? They are not the main focus of your life. So, if all that is important to you is reduced to a hobby, well, you can imagine what that is going to do to your psyche. Now, this was a request done by a comment on my previous video where I said that I have simply stopped believing that I don't have any passions anymore, and suddenly they came back. So what does it mean in practice? Well, if you currently believe that you have no passions, see, what I already said should at least disrupt this notion. Because it is not who you are inside that has no passions. It is the persona that you are currently living that has no passions. Now, there are seemingly many reasons for this, and I could analyze this concept forever, break it down into very little bits so that everyone gets the correct information. But if everyone gets the correct information, no one gets the correct knowledge. So we will have to stay at some level of congruence of the idea for it to have any sense. In many cases, this can be because you do not trust yourself. So you do not trust yourself to make the right decisions. Now, this is an unescapable problem because there is a relationship between you and you. And in a relationship where there is no trust, someone has to make the first step. Now, if this is a relationship between you, and you don't make the first step, no one is going to make the first step. There is no external force in the universe, besides maybe God, that can really change this for you. And now that the idea of God and how God can change it for you, and the idea of self and how you yourself can change it for you, are deeply connected. So let's not delve deep into that, and let's just focus on the more secular idea of how you need to make the first step towards a better partnership with yourself. Now, this is seemingly just one reason for why this is so, not trusting yourself. We can view all these reasons as somehow disconnected, that you cannot be trusting yourself, or like in my case, you just have to understand that you still have your passions. But truly, there is a deep and unavoidable connection between all these reasons, and the better you see that each of these reasons applies to you in some way as well, the better you can immediately start applying this in your life. So let's take this second reason. What does it mean that I just simply understood that I have passions? Well, first of all, what I had to do was step one. I needed to trust myself enough to accept my own idea. I had an idea that I don't need to fix anything, that it is already in me and that I am simply blocking it. Now, if I trust myself enough to accept this idea as true, then it happens. If I don't trust myself enough to accept this idea as true, then it doesn't happen. Now, the funny thing is that if the idea is true, there will be an inner sense of that it is so. There will be a sense of wanting. So if you really want to do something, and you are blocking that process itself by not trusting yourself, you have to, at some point, make the first step into this relationship, into this new relationship between you and yourself. Imagine that you are your own friend and tell yourself, hey, I know that there has been some things in the past, we might regret them, but let's forget all of it. everything is forgiven now. You are my friend, and I want you to do the best you can for yourself, for others, and to achieve some purpose, to create something beautiful in this world, in this life, in this limited time that we have. So, when you do that, your friend, yourself, is going to feel like you trust them. And when you trust them, they will feel like suddenly they have the courage. They have the courage to reawaken something that is already there. You don't have to choose, you don't have to plan, you don't have to prepare yourself for this, because it is already there. When you were a child, did you plan and think about the best practices of learning how to walk? No. Did you learn how to walk? Yes. Did you learn the best practices of how to learn a language? No. Did you learn a language? Yes, very quickly in fact, and very perfectly in fact. That is why you are called a native speaker of a language, because you learned it without applying the best practices. So if you learn a language better without applying the best practices of learning, and you get a better result, why isn't that the best practice? I went on a tangent into skills, but skills are related, of course. So you see, the only way that you can reawaken any passions at all is to first trust yourself enough to understand this simple point. You already have them. There is nothing you need to wait for. There is nothing you need to change. The change will come by itself if you just let it happen. It is going to be effortless. And this is a traditional Taoist problem. How do you make effort towards something that should be effortless? Well, do not. Simply do what you want to do, what you truly, deeply want to do, even when it may seem silly, even when it may seem like it is not accomplishing anything. It will accomplish one thing. You will trust yourself more, you will feel better in general. And this is what you need. This is what you know, that this is what you need. If you are depressed, you need to feel better. This is logically, this is your first step. You can start to feel better, and from this better state of mind, everything flows. If you don't make this first step and you keep telling yourself, oh, this is illogical, I shouldn't be making myself feel better, I should be doing something with my life, then you will do nothing with your life, because you have never taken the first step. The first step is being offered to you all the time by your unconscious mind. It is telling you, mate, you need to start to feel better if we are to accomplish anything together. And you are saying, shut up, I don't trust you anymore. Such a relationship will go nowhere. So start by trusting yourself, start by listening to your instinct, to what you want. It is leading you somewhere. You don't have to know where, it doesn't have to make sense. You just start. When you take the first step, the next step will be revealed. It's as simple as that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, please like, subscribe if you want more. For coaching, you can visit my page. It will be in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and bye bye.